Hello, everyone. Good evening from wherever you're joining. How are we doing? Are we okay? All right. While we're just sorting out some, hi, good evening, good evening. While we're sorting out some technical issues, I'll just kind of introduce myself and we'll just start today's session. So first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that's here. There's 17 people currently here and joining. So thank you so much for coming to today's session. It really means a lot. I know you could be doing anything else with your evening, but the fact that you decided to come and spend it with us just means a lot. So thank you so much. My name is Shion for me, and I'll be leading today's session. I'll be hosting today's session. The purpose of today's meeting is just to introduce to you who we are and to give you an opportunity to answer, get your questions answered and just to give you more clarity on what we're about. Um, so without further ado, I think I'll just start. Um, so sorry, one second. Yeah, so anyways, like I said, my name is Shion for me. So this is the our very first session. And before we start, I just want to just introduce myself a bit more, tell you more a bit more about myself. Just so that, I'm not really a stranger to you, so to speak. So, currently a student. So I'm currently a law student. I'm currently studying law. Um, a bit of background about myself. So I'm based in the UK. I studied law at University of Aberdeen in Scotland. And then after that, I specialized in energy law. Um, and I worked for a bit and I moved over to Liverpool and I'm currently in law school and my goal professionally is to qualify as a solicitor. Um, I'm also a Christian as well. Um, I have two siblings and yeah, that's just a bit about myself. I'm from Nigeria as well. So that's just a bit about myself. Um, So, sorry, I forgot. We actually need to pray before we start. So, if you don't mind, if we just do a quick prayer, don't know, everybody can be from different denominations, but um, just a quick prayer. Um, in Jesus' name, thank you, Lord, for this evening. Thank you for bringing us together. I commit this evening into your hands, Lord. I pray that you will just take control. I pray that you will lead us and guide us in today's session. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. Um, So before we start, I just wanted us to do like a quick icebreaker, um, before we get into the nitty-gritty of today's session. Um, like the name of our organization is Roadmap to Studying Abroad. And I'm sure a lot of us, whether we're professionals, whether we're students or whatever the case may be, if you're here, you have some sort of an interest in going abroad, whether you want to study abroad, whether you want to work abroad, you have some sort of interest in it. So I thought we could just play a fun little game. So my question to you is where in the world would you like to study or would you like to settle down in? And once you have that answer, just have a quick think. Once you have that answer, what I want you to do is I want you to rename yourself on Zoom as the country that you would like to study in. So, for example, if you want to study in Japan, just rename yourself Japan, and then I'll just pick one or two people to just tell me why they've chosen the country that they've um chosen. So, is that clear to everybody? Do we understand what we're doing? Yeah. Hi, Mario. Yeah, so I guess just like 5 minutes, just give you 5 minutes, just have a quick think. this prophetic. You never know what will happen. So, yeah, for those that are joining, are just joining, we're just doing a quick icebreaker before we start today's session. So, if you can have a think of anywhere in the world that you like to study in, or maybe you like to live in or work in or whatever, and then on your Zoom window, if you can rename yourself as the name of the country that you would like to be in, and I'll just pick one or two people to just tell us why. And you can also tell us why in the comment section as well. So, everybody will have an opportunity to share. Oh, okay. So far I'm seeing United States, United Kingdom, anymore, just anywhere in the world. USA. Okay. Well, the person that said USA, would you like to just unmute really quickly and just share with us, if you don't mind? Share with us why you picked USA.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, okay, so I picked USA because I've been reading a lot about them, and I believe there's a lot of funding for research, at the graduate level. So yes, and I want to go into AI and data science, and I believe that with the amount of funding that they have, it would help me support my graduate studies.
Mm. Oh, nice. I agree with you. There's a lot of focus these days on STEM. So definitely, I agree with you. I see that. Somebody said something really interesting. Somebody said Czech, I assume Czech Republic. If you just want to just unmute, if you don't mind, and just share with us why you said Czech Republic.
Oh, can you?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So with Czech Republic, sometime back, I did some research on some schools, and then I got the school, Brno University of Technology. It's in Brno, it's in Czech Republic, right? Yeah. So actually, for that school, um, they have like companies from the industry actually really support them. I don't know if you know, but like they have the companies are really like situated close to them, and then they have uh I don't know, they have a stronghold in research and some other areas here, and cost of living there is also low. They
Mm,
have a nice environment here. That's what you can
mm,
see. Yeah.
mm, mm. Okay, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense as well. You'd have to, yeah, that's one of the things that you really need to consider sometimes when you're looking into, where you want to stay. You said cost of living. So where you want to stay as well. Some places, um, the economy and everything is a little bit more expensive to live in some places than others. So that's a really good consideration as well. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you to everybody that has, you know, participated in this. That was just to just get us flowing and just get us started. So, I don't want to waste too much of your time. We'll just get right into the um presentation for today. Um, so, like I said, I'm currently unable to share my screen right now, but I believe that it will be sorted out soon. So my apologies. Um, for that. But in the meantime, we'll just roll with it. So I just want to welcome everybody here again to Roadmap to Study Abroad. The whole point of this session, like I said in the beginning, is just to introduce you to who we are and what we do and what to expect from being a part of this. Um, so I'll just run through our agenda for today's. Um, Kelvin said Germany because of the strong engineering culture. Fantastic. Thank you, Kelvin. Um, so I'll just run through the agenda for today's meeting. Um, so thank you. Okay, we've got the screen. So can everyone see the screen okay? If you can see the screen, just say yes in the comment section or whatever. Yes, okay, thank you. So if we just go to the disclaimers, sorry, the agenda slide, please. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So, as I said, we're just going to do something really quickly today. So we've gone through our icebreaker. So the next thing that we're going to go through is just a bit more about who we are. So why, and also why we've created this thing that we've created, and then just running through the key pillars of this body, as well as getting into the Q&A session. And we have two amazing speakers that's also here to answer your questions, professionals and experts in their own field as well. So that's going to be a really great session. And you don't want to miss. If I can encourage everyone, if you can, to please turn on your cameras, if you can, just so that I'm not seeing ghosts and I'm seeing people. If you're able to, of course. Um, So yeah, I'll just go on to the next slide, please. The disclaimer slide, actually. Yes, thank you. So before we start, I just want to just a quick disclaimer. So Roadmap to Study Abroad, we are an independent advisory body, and we are committed to assisting prospective students and graduates in navigating the process of applying to universities abroad and settling down. So we do strive to provide accurate, up-to-date, and helpful information, but we are, and just to stress this, we are not a licensed professional body. We are not a legal advisor. We're not an immigration consultant. So we do encourage you to still do your own research, even though we do base off the information we give you off of publicly available resources and general best practices, but we do strongly encourage you to also go back and do your own research. And also, we're not affiliated with any specific university, government agency, or accreditation body. So we don't actually guarantee admission, visa approval, job opportunities, or scholarship outcomes. So every decision that is made by any university or institution is beyond our control. So what we do offer is help, but we don't guarantee anything. So that's just to put it out there. So just so that you know. Anyways, moving on to the next slide. By the way, if anyone has any questions or anything like that along the way, please feel free to type it in the comment section. There are people that are monitoring it and they would definitely get to your question. So as I said, we're an independent advisory body, and we are actually committed to providing individuals who have a passion for learning with the best opportunity possible to study abroad. So all of this is just to say that the heart of this organization is love. So it's literally just, first of all, love for God and also love for people as well. So we believe in not only community, but we believe in sort of helping each other and building each other up. So there are so many different people that have literally walked through the same experiences that you are currently walking through. And there's no point knowing something and gatekeeping information. So we're just here to share what we know. We're here to share knowledge, and here to help each other grow. So our key pillars are education, because um we're here with our key focus, or our key demographic is people that are passionate about learning. So if you're passionate about studying, education, becoming an expert, this is a place for you. Also, information as well. Having the right information can make all the difference in the world. And also opportunity. Sometimes what is standing between you and the next level is just an opportunity. So we're here to bridge that gap and create the opportunity that otherwise you may not have been given. And that is just basically the foundation of who we are. So I'll just move on to the next slide. So our vision as an organization is to make global impact by building people of character. So we're not just here to help you get into schools abroad, but we're also here to help you take your next steps. And speaking from personal experience, is not just about I got into this top university, or I got into this institution, or whatever, but it's also about making the opportunity that you have count. So we're not just invested in how you enter into whatever space that you enter into, but we're also invested in also taking you along and making you and sort of like helping you grow. So that is our vision. We're here to build people of character. So it's not just about education, but it's also about, your strength of character, because that will take you so far. And then our mission is to add value to society and transform the lives of people through the platform of education. So while there are so many different people that have joined us, so like I said, they're students, they're professionals, um, family guys, whatever the case may be. Our primary demographic, or our primary focus, is students, and we're primarily using the platform of education to achieve what we want to achieve. So that leads me to the next slide, um, which is our key pillars. Um, so we sort of help in key areas throughout the application process. So first of all, we help you through the application stage. That includes help with transcripts, tracking your applications, like anything that has to do with getting your applications through. We help with that. We have people that also help with like funding and scholarship, giving you the best advice, running you through the opportunities that are available, especially in the country that you may necessarily want to, um, school in. We also help with documentation, whether it's your CV, whether it's other, documents, or whatever the case may be. We help with that. We help with the visa stage and the visa process, interviews, etc. And then we also help you in the aspect of settling abroad. Um, so whether it's registering for a bank account or getting a job, whatever the case may be, like I said, we're not just helping you get into university or get into school. We're also trying to set you up for the next stage of your life. So those are our key pillars. And that leads me to the next slide. Sorry, Mustafa, could you please mute yourself if you don't mind? Thank you. So that brings me to our next slide, which is our community. So like I said in the previous slide, we have key things that we help you with, and this is what our community group chat basically looks like. So some people may be familiar with this page. You may be already on the group chat, so you've seen this. But just to kind of take you through it. So we have like our general announcements group, which a lot of us might already be in the announcements group. So on that group, all that you will just be receiving is general information. But then if you want to get more specific information tailored to your current experience or your current need, you'd have to request to join any of these groups. So we've got the visa stage group, like I said, gathering documents, arrivals and settling abroad, application stage, funding, scholarship, testimonies, Q&A session. So you can literally just click any of these groups to join. But I'll go through this in the community rules section. But if you can please try to not join more than like 3 groups, just so that you're joining groups that are actually tailored to what your current stage is. So don't just join a group to join a group, if that makes sense. So join a group that is actually specifically helping your current stage, just so that you don't waste your time. So if you want to join the community, if you're not already on the community, the link to the community will be shared in the chat. Let me see if I can share it now. Actually, yeah. So the link to the community, I've just shared it in the chat. So if you'd like to join this community, you can do so. We don't actually have a platform on any other social media place. We just have it on WhatsApp. So if you see something similar on Instagram or TikTok, it's not us, please. So yeah, we're just based on WhatsApp, primarily on WhatsApp for now. And I'll just go to the next slide, please. So I would just like to take you just through the community rules as well. So if you are interested in joining the community, just, just please be aware of just how things are in the community. So first of all, you are free to invite your friends or your family interested in studying abroad. So you're free to do so if you wish, but please stay respectful, follow group rules. So every group has rules that are specific to that group. So please just try and, follow the rules, like try not to make any hateful comments and just be kind to everybody. Really, we don't want to create we don't want to create an environment where people feel like they can't share. So please just stay respectful. All the help and discussions that will be had will only happen in the group. So none of the admins will directly message you. So if you get a direct message from any of the admins, please treat it as a potential scam. So every discussion will always happen in the group. Also, avoid paying anyone for services or promoting paid services or agents. This is a completely free service that we're doing. So avoid any solicitations, and please don't advertise any similar services that you pay for on the group as well. Try not to put any unrelated content or spam on the community, just so that all the information that is being put there is tailored specifically to studying abroad. And also feel free to ask questions. No question is too small. There will always be admins there to answer every question that you have. So, don't feel like you can't ask questions. And I'll just go to the next slide. Just some security pointers as well. Please don't share any personal information of yours on any public groups. And if you see any suspicious activity, feel free to report it to the admins. There's something on WhatsApp called two-factor authentication. I don't know if maybe most of us have heard of it. But if you don't actually have it enabled on your phone, we encourage you to do so to provide unauthorized access. So if you want to quickly do it, it's literally just go on your settings on WhatsApp, go to privacy, and then enable the two-step verification. And then lastly, like I said previously, please stay in 2 or 3 subgroups that reflect your current stage to ensure that questions and discussions remain relevant and helpful to everyone. So that's just a bit of housekeeping. And before I hand over to our speakers, I just want to give you a feel for who they are. So like I said, we have 2 amazing speakers here, Mr. Nathaniel and Mr. Daniel. Mr. Nathaniel is an accounting and finance expert from University for Development Studies. He's a project management graduate from Humber College in Toronto. He's a business analyst graduate from Mohawk College in Canada as well, and he's currently enrolled in Chartered Professional Accountant program in Canada. And then we also have Mr. Daniel, who's a PhD student in applied mathematics in the Florida Institute of Technology in USA. He has a bachelor's degree in mathematics from Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Ghana. And he has a master's degree in mathematics um, from Silesian University of Technology, Poland. So, like I said, two absolute experts in their field. And I'll just sort of hand over to them um, to just sort of introduce themselves. And we'll just be asking them a couple of questions. So I'll just hand over to you, Mr. Daniel, if you want to go first.
Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction for me. I really appreciate it. So first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for making time to be here today. This meeting wouldn't have been possible without you guys. I would also want to thank, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that's nice. So I also want to thank the team for setting this up. It's really amazing, and I do really appreciate my presence over here. And most importantly, I would like to thank God for the opportunity to share my story. So a bit of a disclaimer, whatever I'm going to say today is to just glorify the goodness of the Lord and what he has done for my life and what he keeps on doing. And I believe strongly that at the end of this meeting, we are all going to live here blessed and fulfilled. So my academic journey started in 2016. I pursued a bachelor's degree in mathematics at the Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and I completed in 2020. So right after the completion, I won the prestigious Erasmus Mundus Scholarship to pursue my master's in Europe. So the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship is designed in such a way that you are going to study in at least 2 European universities. So for me, I did my first year at the University of L'Aquila in Italy, where I pursued a master's degree in mathematical engineering. And in 2023, I did my second master's degree at the Silesian University of Technology, where I pursued a master's in applied and computational mathematics. So currently, by the grace of God, I'm pursuing my PhD in applied math at Florida Institute of Technology, where I do research in mathematical modeling, basically focusing on financial mathematics and mathematical biology with artificial intelligence. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I also ask Mr. Nathaniel if you want to also share with us a few things?
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. First of all, I also want to thank you guys and then thank Daniel for giving us this insight introductory about himself. My name is Nathaniel. I also completed University for Development Studies. I was born and raised in Ghana, that is Obuasi. I completed university around 2020. And then I moved to Canada 2021 December. And then I went to Humber College to pursue project management. Afterwards, I went to Mohawk College to pursue business analysis. And now I'm working as an account receivable clerk at one of the most prestigious universities in Canada, which is McMaster University. And now I'm aspiring to be a chartered professional accountant in Canada.
Wow, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. That is amazing. I just have a question for both of you. Can you actually take us through your journey into studying abroad? So from Ghana to Canada and, all the other places in between.
Okay. Everything happens mysteriously. Like I didn't have the intention to travel abroad. It all happened when I completed my university. I was working as a national service personnel, and I was thinking about life after school, how life is going to be for me. Is it going to be so hard for me finding a job and stuff? So when I was working with them, there was this guy who worked with them previously before I came in.
He was national service, and then he moved to the United States of America, which is US. So this guy always calls them, and then I was working with one team. He always calls them and talks good about like living abroad, how life in abroad is. If you want to make it, you have to come to abroad and stuff. So this guy was saying good stuff about Canada. So I got to know Canada through the guy. I went home, do a lot of research, and I got to know that when you come to Canada and then you come through schooling, you go through your schooling process. At the end of the day, they have a process for you to become a permanent resident. So I just took that upon that motivation to just come to Canada. And then I didn't know anything about traveling. I didn't know how the process was going to be like. So I had no idea about how Canada is and how I'm going to get into Canada. So I went to see one guy, a connection guy. That's what we normally say in Ghana, a connection guy. So I went through a connection guy. We started everything from there. We did the first process. I was denied based on my purpose of visit and financial status. So he told me he's going to apply for the second time, of which he did. And then I was also refused for the second time. So I got two refusals from that same guy. And then I was there and I prayed to God. That is what one thing I always say anywhere I stand and find myself. That if you are doing something, you have to just pray to God. That God should give you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding as to how you are going to perceive whatever you want to do. So I prayed to God that God should give me knowledge as to how I'm going to travel to Canada. If it's war, and if it's against His will too, I'll just be in Ghana. So I prayed to God, and then it just dawned on me that I should call the guy, try to get my documents from the guy, and then apply for the visa myself. Once I'm a university graduate, I can read and write. So I called this guy, and it became like a fight between me and the guy. We always exchange words because he wasn't willing to give me my documents. He wasn't willing to show me how everything was done, and then the reason why I was being refused. So it took about 2 to 3 weeks, and then finally he gave me my document. So what I did was I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I watched a lot of seminars. Like I attended a lot of seminars like this. Try to know how I'm going to apply this for the school myself. So on the third time, I did it myself, and I got approved. I got denied. So when I did it on the third time, I got denied. I did it by myself. So I read through a lot of research. I did a lot of web seminars, and then I did everything virtually by myself. So when I got denied, it was also based on the same reason of which the connection man did. So meaning I've been denied 3 times. First one by the connection guy, second one by the connection guy, and then third one by myself, like 3 times. So I almost lose interest in coming to Canada, but I'm a person that if I need something, I'll always want to fight for, and then I'll always wish to like get it before I'll be free. So I went in for the fourth time again, of which I did a lot of research. So my first refusal was, I want to stress on this because it's very important. My first refusal was purpose of visit and financial status. My second refusal was purpose of visit and financial status. My third refusal was also purpose of visit and financial status. So I was going for the fourth time. So I did a lot of research, and I got to know that I have to make my application genuine. I have to make my application look different from the first, second one, and third one. So what I did in my fourth one was I paid $6,000 of my tuition. So I paid $6,000 of my tuition, and paying $6,000 in Ghana is like it's worth it. So I paid $6,000. I applied for the fourth time, tried to do a lot of research, tried to introduce myself, tried to work on my study plan and my purpose of visit and everything. So God being so good, I got approved within 9 days. So I got approved within 9 days, for which was my fourth attempt. So I didn't lose hope. So one thing I will engage all of us is if you are doing something, and then if you have the dream of coming to abroad, you should never lose hope. You should never lose hope. You should fight until you should fight until you get there. So that is basically when I was in Ghana. So when I came to Canada, that is where everything started. There was a lot of things that I went through whilst I was in Canada. So when I came into Canada, I came and met a lot of Ghanaians here who are like enjoying their lives, who are having a lot of cars, driving luxurious cars like Teslas and the rest. So I also thought it wise that if I'm here and then I'm in Canada, there's opportunities, a lot of opportunities here for me. So I can also go and get a car and then start driving. But as a person that I'm a good driven person, I always wanted to get there to the maximum. So I went to school on 2021 January 2021 January. So I completed Humber College, and when I completed Humber College, I was working with Double C organization. That was where I got the intention of going to a business analysis as well. So when I completed business analysis, I had the opportunity to work as an account receivable at McMaster University. So one thing that I will always advise everybody is just be passionate about whatever you want to do and just be goal driven. You just don't lose courage. If you lose, then you are going to be a loser. So basically that is all about my Canadian journey. And then it was so stressful, but finally I'm living my life and then I'm enjoying it here. Thank you.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's very, very inspiring. Like you said, don't lose hope. So just that resilience is something that I feel like I personally needed it. So I don't know. I'm sure there's one or two people that needed to hear that. But thank you so much for being honest and sharing your experience and not giving up, because if you had given up, then you wouldn't be here telling people your story. So thank you so much for that, Nathaniel.
Oh, you're
Um,
welcome.
can I also I'll just give the floor to Daniel as well. Would you like to also walk us through your own personal
Yeah,
journey?
sure. Thank you. So this whole thing started when I was in my third year, and this is how it came about. So when I pursued mathematics, everyone that meets me will be like, "Hey, man, what are you pursuing in university?" And I'll be like, "Oh, I'm doing math." And the question that follows is, "What are you going to use math for? Like, is there a need for math in Ghana?" So it's really discouraged me to pursue that degree because I saw it as not relevant because most people were saying that it's not relevant in Ghana. So somewhere in my third year, I saw a senior of mine who completed the same program outside pursuing his master's. And I was like, oh, so if this person can go outside with mathematics, then I think everything is possible and I can also do the same. So that's when I started doing my research on traveling abroad and everything. And one thing that I would like to say is, irrespective of the program that you are doing, do not let anyone discourage you because you know why you are pursuing that program, and the good Lord knows why He made you pursue that program. So you are pursuing that program for a purpose, and you shouldn't derail from it. So upon doing my research, I got to see the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship because a lot of my friends were having these opportunities to see scholarships in the United States and everything. And to me, I felt because I really considered my GP at that time. And I was like, oh, so if I'm going to fight for these scholarship opportunities with these kind of people, it's going to be difficult for me to get in. So I was looking for other opportunities that can help me gain the scholarships. So I tend to look to Europe for scholarship opportunities and everything. And also the reason why I was doing that was because living in Europe is quite affordable than in the United States or Canada. So when I came across the Erasmus Mundus scholarships, I just went through the catalog and saw that I was even eligible to apply even in my final year. And that was when the zeal started coming in and when I started improving things. And yet, by the grace of God, I got after completing my program, I just applied for the Erasmus program. The first time I applied, I got denied. I got rejected. I didn't make the list. But the second time I applied, God being so good, I just got in and I won the full scholarship. Now, when I won the scholarship and I went to Europe, it wasn't easy, but God came through for me to just finish my 2 years in Europe. So my PhD, the journey, it's kind of weird because I used to pray a lot about the journey and everything, how what I'm supposed to do after pursuing my master's. Should I go in to the industry to work? should I go in for a PhD and all that? So I used to pray, and one time it was like a dream, it just came to me. Applied to the school in the United States. So I woke up, went online, searched the school, and I saw the school online. I was like, okay, so knowing this, I just went ahead, submitted my application and everything, and I got in. So that was really amazing. So what I'm going to say is, no matter what you do, everything that you do, please involve God, because currently where I am the first Black person to be admitted into that particular department. So it's really not easy, you know. If you involve God in anything that you do, everything becomes seamless. So basically, that's all that I did. But one thing that I did when I was in undergrad that really helped my journey was I started strategizing. So I knew the requirements of hand. So I knew that I would be needing these kind of documents and everything, such as the letter of recommendations and everything. So I started making friends with the lecturers, the professors, and everything. So sometimes I was just walking into the office and be like, hey, I'm Daniel, I'm taking this course with you, just for them to know me. So that's when the time comes for me to do the application to be easy. Because if you don't do that and you wait till we complete and you go back and be like, oh, I took this course with you and I want you to do a recommendation for me, because that thing is not there, it becomes very difficult for them to submit your thing for you, and it really delays sometimes. So I started doing that. I started taking some internship opportunities as well. I also took some leadership roles and everything just to help my case. So yeah, that was how the journey went, and I'm glad to answer any question that follows. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. When I was reading your profile, I was like, you clearly like maths. That's not.
Yeah.
But that's amazing. Like what like our two speakers have said, like the common thing is like don't give up on the first try. Um, like Daniela said, um, he's the first Black person in his institution. You're already breaking boundaries. I believe that everybody here, you have the ability to break boundaries and things like that. So really and truly, I really like the fact that you guys have shared. So thank you so much. So I want to just, leave the floor open to anybody that has any questions for our speakers. They're here to answer your questions. If you'd like to know more about certain things, or if you want to, ask questions based off of your experiences, I'm sure they're more than happy to answer these questions. So anybody at all, you can type it in the chat if you don't feel free to, or you can, raise your hand and and you'll be spotlighted and you can just say what your question is. Okay. So we've got a question here from Dennis. He says, listening to them, I would like to know if it's easy to further your education abroad after your master's.
After your master's, as if you do your master's in Ghana?
Yeah, Dennis, would you like to clarify that? So we can. So it's abroad, yeah.
After you do your master's, so you want a PhD position or another master's degree?
PhD, he says.
Okay. So Nathaniel, if you don't mind, I can just chip in here.
Yeah.
So to apply for any PhD position, yeah, it depends on the country that you're applying to. So know the country that you want to go into and know their basic requirements. So for instance, the United States, if you want to pursue a PhD program, you need to write a research proposal. Some of the schools will let you write a research proposal. Some of them will also let you contact supervisors for them to accept that they're going to supervise you before you can even go ahead to apply. So you have to know everything about the process, but basically it's the same process as the masters. The only documents that will change is maybe instead of having a two-letter recommendations, you're going to need three of them. The research proposal, as I said, but basically the same thing. But if you're in Europe, Europe is kind of different. In Europe, you really need to get a supervisor. Most of them will tell you that you need a supervisor's approval before you can start a program. So that is the basic difference, but it's the same really. I hope it's clear.
Yeah, I hope that's clear, Dennis. If you would like more clarity, you can always put it in the chat. Nathaniel, would you like to add to that or?
Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we have another question from Emanuela. She says, are we supposed to prepare our SOP long before we even apply for the master's degree?
Okay, I think you have to prepare your SOP. The SOP stands for statement of purpose. That is the main reason why you want to travel abroad. So you should have something that motivates you to be able to come to Canada or go to any country you want to go to. But you have to start preparing for your SOP because once you get your admission, like once you get approved into a university or a college or something, you have to write your SOP and then maybe you won't have the time. The SOP is all about yourself, it's all about your life. It has to be detailed, it has to be heart touching so that when whoever reads the SOP, the visa officer who reads your SOP will be like, oh, this guy is good. This is the reason why the person wants to come to Canada or go to any European country or go to any country of your choice. So the SOP has to be prepared before you get admission. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathaniel. I think the question she was also asking, I don't know if that's more of a point of emphasis, like long before they apply to the master. So is there a specific?
No, 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 no. I don't think it's necessary because if you write your SOP and then the reason for you to travel or the program you want to come on do changes, whatever, what are you going to do? So you need to apply for the school. Once you apply for the school, then you start writing your SOP before you get the admission. So if you write it long, long ago, then there are a lot of things that are going to be changed. So it's not advisable to write it like, yeah.
Okay. I hope that answers your question, Emanuela. I don't know if you want to add anything, Daniel.
Yeah, so since we're on the subject of SOP, let me just chip this in. So I really agree with what Nathan said. It's not really necessary to prepare your SOP, let's say a year or whatever ahead. So what most people do is they go online, search for statement of purpose, just edit it and put their name inside and just apply to a school. That's not how it is. So you really have to work on it. So statement of purpose is what is going to speak to the admission committee. You are not there to defend yourself. You are not there. So what you have to do is sell yourself in the SOP. Let them know who you are, your achievements, what you want to do in the future. So it should be your story, not someone else's story. If someone else's story might be interesting, or this is really okay, I want to use this as my statement of purpose, but that's not you. And you just editing the person's name and putting your name inside won't guarantee you the funding. The fact that the person used that statement of purpose to get funding doesn't necessarily mean that you're also going to get funding when you use it. So try as much as possible to spend time, because I used 3 months to write my statement of purpose. Try to spend time and write everything that you think is needed. Then you can go ahead to seek for guidance and everything to just ship it. Yeah, thank you.
I want to say something on this. I just remembered when I was applying for my fourth time. I was just using I went to online, just copy someone's SOP and then just paste it, copy and paste. I'll just edit it, post my name. But on the fourth attempt, I just sat down. It took me, is it 4 months? 4 months to 5 months to able to write an SOP. I'll write an SOP, give it to my friends to review. And then even I did that and gave to Bona to also review for me. It has to be heart touching. Your SOP is going to speak for you. So you are not there to defend yourself or you are not there to speak for yourself. It's your SOP who is speaking for you. So your SOP has to be detailed. and it has to be prepared fully. Yeah, thank you.
And I think most schools are withdrawing funding now based on SOP. So you really have to write it yourself. Don't copy it anywhere. Sit down, because you can start your journey. Second year in your journey, the school will see that, oh, so this person used AI or whatsoever to do the SOP, and that's it. Your funding is just terminated. So you just have to be careful, because it's really important. Yeah.
Sorry, Dennis, were you asking a question? Okay. I think that may have been a mistake. So thank you so much for answering that question. I believe that, one of the things that we're here to do is we're here to help. So if you need any help with your SOPs or anything like that, that's what Roadmap to Studying Abroad is about. And I'll just repost the link to our community group chat as well. So we have people that are on board to help you with that kind of thing and just give you more personalized assistance. But I do hope that that was clear to you, Emmanuel, and anybody that's wondering about SOPs or any important documents or anything like that. And if you have any questions, you can type it in the chat, but also you can also raise your hand. So if you'd like to actually, say your question, that would be fine. I'll just move on to the next question. So Sammy is asking that with letters of recommendation, does it have to be lecturers alone, or can it even be with people you've worked with?
For what I know, for instance, the Erasmus program doesn't accept any recommendation from an employer or a friend. It should be strictly from your professors. They don't even accept, some of them don't accept recommendations from just lecturers. It should be professors. It should be people in academia. So most of the times you can't have your friends doing it for you. But some institutions will also tell you to provide 3 letters of recommendations, and one of them can be your supervisor at work or your manager whatsoever, and 2 from academia. So it depends on the school you're applying to and the type of scholarship you're applying for.
Nathaniel, do you want to add to that?
To my best of knowledge, in Canada, and then all my friends that I know who are doing masters and PhD program, they don't require recommendation from your workers or your superior. They only ask for recommendation from professors, as Daniel did. So they don't regard like junior professors. They only want recommendation from senior professors. If you are looking for scholarship, if you are looking to enter into a master's or PhD program, they are looking for senior professors' recommendations, not just any recommendation from anywhere. But if you are doing your visa process and you want to prove to the visa officer that you have this experience, and then you want to go and do this work or do this program and come back home and do this program, that means you can just add a recommendation to that. But asking for a program or PhD or master's program, you don't have to get a recommendation from your work person. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And I hope that answers your question, Sammy. We've got another question here. Sedem says, after traveling, you end up, sorry, I just skipped the question. Sorry. I'll get to that question in a minute. We have a question that says, is it advisable to do straight PhD, or do you need to do your master's first?
Okay, this question is tricky. So, what I'm going to say is it depends on your strength. If you think the PhD that you're going to do is directly related to the program that you did in the undergrad and you're really strong in that, let's say you pursue an undergrad in mathematics, right, with a strong GPA that you believe that you are really strong in math, then I think going in for a PhD, that does not change anything. It's possible in the United States to get a straight PhD from undergrad. But if you are really shaky and your foundation is not that strong, I will urge you to pursue a master's degree first before you move on to a PhD, because the PhD starts from day one. and it's not a joke. So if you think you're really strong, I think you really have to go in for it. But if your foundation is not strong, please do a master's degree. Thank you.
Nathaniel, would you like to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think it's almost the same thing as Daniel said. Before you want to do any master's or PhD program abroad, your foundation has to be strong because the style of learning here and then the style of learning in Ghana is way, way different. It's way, way different. I quite remember in my first test here in Canada, I got, is it 6/20? I got 6/20. I just went home, chew everything in my head, and then it was a project management question. So the question was like, as a project manager, and then you are in the midst of a sea, and then you were able to survive. You only have like you have lights, you have candle. I've forgotten the question. Like it's all about survival, and you have to relate it to a principle. Meanwhile, I've choose everything to my head, and then when I got there, it was application question. So if you don't know your strength and you just go ahead and do PhD or masters, you will fail. 100% you fail. Basically, you will fail. So you have to know your strength. You have to understand everything before you just go in for masters or PhD. So basically you have to know your strength.
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely echo that sentiment as well. Like even I did a master's in law and I had an undergrad and then I did a master's in law and even that was tough and I still had the foundational background, so I really agree with that. And we have another question from Sammy as well. She said, is there a website to find scholarships for masters abroad and how do we find the documentation that we need for applications?
I think
Actually, I think
with that one, you guys have been posting a lot of scholarship links. I think if she joins the group, she can just get a lot of master's scholarship and PhD scholarships links over there. So I suggest that she should just join the group and then she will get more insight from there.
yeah. There's a link to the group in the comment section. Sammy, if you'd like to join, all the information is there. Um, so another question is, after traveling, you end up mingling with individuals of different cultural values and personal values, which can cause some kind of social neglect. How much of a problem is that, and how do you deal with it? Does that make sense?
I can't see the
That-
question. Where is it? Okay,
Um,
okay. Okay,
yeah.
I can see it now from setting.
Yeah, so I think the education system over here is totally different from the one that we know in Africa. Um, Sometimes you feel that way, you feel like you don't belong. Even sometimes going after doing my masters and everything, I still feel like I don't belong where I am. So it happens. It happens. So the only thing to get you through is you have to get a support system. So over here, mingling and everything, most at times, quote unquote, does not help, but you really need a support system either back home or here, right? So yeah, you really have to. I don't know how to echo this, but you need a strong system in order to survive over here. Cause it's not easy out here alone. So yeah, basically, I think that's what I have to say. Nathan, do you have anything?
With this question, you have to be determined. You just have to be determined because there are a lot of things you go through. Being an international student abroad is very, very difficult. You have to feed yourself, you have to pay rent, you have to pay your bills. It's all about bills. So if you are not determined, no, 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 you go back. And then sometimes too, you be in the midst of white people. If you get me right, if you be in the midst of white people, there's some kind of discrimination, like racist. And then I quite remember we were doing our final presentation in business analysis, and then we had this student from India, and then you know how Indians accent are. Like if you don't listen attentively, you will not hear anything. So we used to laugh at the guy, not knowing the guy has taken it so personal. So in 2-3 days time, we heard that the guy has killed himself, all because we were just laughing at him that he can't speak English, his accent is different and stuff. So you have to be determined. There are a lot of challenges. To be honest, there are a lot of challenges in terms of your color, in terms of your words pronunciation, in terms of wherever you are coming from. One thing I also want to say, chipping is, I don't know, but the white people, they think that we are dumb. They think that we don't have sense. Most people think we don't have sense. They think that once you are a black person, you are dumb. So any suggestion that you are making is not going to work. Where I was working previously, I was working as a quality assurance officer. So I was working as an intern person when I finished my project management. So they were facing customer challenges in such a way that customers were talking so much that their glasses are not being supplied on time, and then they are facing a lot of delays. So I suggested a lot of recommendations for them to follow. So my boss was a Canadian. So when I suggested those recommendations for him to follow, he said, what do you know? So about 2-3 weeks time, he came to me and then said, Nathan, you were saying something. So if I want to implement that, how do I approach it? So I suggested that, and then he made me the team leader in terms of quality. I wasn't working for quality, I was working for project. So I started initiating those policies, and then later on it became boom. They started getting a lot of customers on board because the glass were going on time. Everything happened based on my suggestion. So they gave me a full-time offer to work there, but I wanted to pursue my goal in business analysis. So I went. So sometimes there are a lot of challenges. To be honest, you have to tune up your mind and be determined. If you are not determined, you can't stand. And even the style of teaching is going to deter you from even continue. So you have to make up your mind. I hope this answers my question, Kweku.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, thank you so much. I hope that answers your question as well. Daniel, did you want to add anything to that?
No, it's good. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we have about 20 minutes left, so we may not be able to answer every single question. But if you do have any more questions, we have our email address, roadmap2studyabroad@gmail.com. So you can always send your questions to this email and there will be someone to answer you. Well, I'll just move on to the next question. Mary says, studying abroad, does the admission come with the funding or are there separate procedures? And if they are separate, what should a person do if he's admitted for further studies but didn't get the funding? Should a person deny or accept?
Mhm. Yeah, so getting admission without funding, I'm not going to advise anyone to take that journey because it's going to be tough. Even with a partial scholarship, it's really tough. One thing that can help you gain these fundings and everything, most importantly in the United States, is doing what we call cold emails. So try to do the research. So go on Google, type the schools that you want to apply to and everything. Look for professors that you want to work with and send them an email. Hello, Professor so and so. I am this and this. I am from this country, currently pursuing a master's or a bachelor's in so and so degree. I looked at your profile and I'm really interested in working with you. Do you have any funding available or any teaching assistantship positions available whatsoever? Just send those emails. Don't just apply to a school and hope for the best, thinking they are going to get funding because it's really competitive. Everyone is applying. So what makes you special? So do that extra work and it's going to help you. That's what I did and that's what helped me. I sent an email and the professor was like, yeah, I can work with you. What do you think? Let's get a Zoom meeting. He did the Zoom meeting and I got my funding. So if I hadn't sent that email, I think I'll still be in Europe by now, So just send the email, be polite and everything, and they are very happy to respond. And some schools will also tell you that once you do apply and you get admission, you get a funding straight. So you don't have to do any separate application for funding whatsoever. But the onus is on you to do your research and know how to approach it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Nathaniel, did you want to add anything to that?
This question is kind of it's kind of personal question because it depends. It depends on your goal and then your aim of traveling abroad. If you are fully prepared and then if you have the funds, why not? Because I was looking for scholarship, I didn't get scholarship. So all my schooling in abroad, I've been paying everything, which is like 20,000 a year. So I've been paying everything by virtually by myself. So it depends on your dream. It depends on what you want to. Like most people are looking for scholarship. So if you are a person who has the funds, why not? After when you start working here or get the experience and you go back home, you start earning big. So if you have the funds, fine. If you don't have it, then I think you should try elsewhere.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I hope that answers your question, Mary. Um, I'll just move on to the next question. Um, so Dennis says that Africans are afraid of cost, so that's the main purpose of applying for scholarship. So if you're able to secure admission in the US with partial to no funding, how safe is Empower funding? Any advice on that, or should we make sure we secure all the funding from the school?
Hmm. Um, hmm. So I don't know how to put it. Yes, so securing Empower it's nice, but it doesn't guarantee you result. You know, like you even getting full funding doesn't guarantee you result. So getting Empower itself doesn't guarantee you result. Nevertheless, if you get a visa and you come here with Empower, it's really difficult to sometimes make the payments and everything. And if you fall behind schedule and you do not make payment, it becomes a problem. Remember, as an international student, you're entitled to work 20 hours a week, and you are going to use this to be paying your Empower loan or whatsoever. And you're not going to make money as an international student. You are going to earn like $13 or $15 depending on the state that you are in. So you also have bills to pay, your accommodation and everything, your feeding expenses and all that. So combining, I'm not going to advise anyone to go in for it, but if you have like a strong background, it depends on the amount you also going in for. If it's like say 10,000 of less than $10,000, I think it's possible you pay. But if you are going for $40,000 just for them to pay everything, it's really difficult to settle it. I hope that's clear enough.
Thank you, Daniel. Nathaniel, do you want to also chip in?
Yeah, Empower loans are good, but to some extent, it's not good, as Daniel said. Um, I know of some two, three guys who are using Empower scholarship, Empower loans, and then one guy fall a victim of Empower not paying the tuition for the guy, all because the guy wasn't able to meet up the requirement for Empower. Like the guy was supposed to get on average no less than 75%, 75. And the guy got around 70 some 74, 72. So the guy became frustrated because he's using Empower to be paying his school fees and stuff. And Empower canceled the loan scholarship because the guy wasn't able to meet up to the standard. So if you are going in for Empower, you need to know your strength. And then, as Daniel said, Empower is not going to guarantee your visa. Even if you have full scholarship, it's not going to guarantee your visa. It depends. It's all about your SOP and everything. So going in for Empower is good, but to some extent, it's so bad.
Mm, thank you. Thank you. Um, we've got a question from Portia. Portia says, if one has conditional admission in one of the universities in the UK and is waiting for a scholarship approval, what advice could you give in this waiting period?
In the UK,
Um,
I don't really have much information about the UK, but what do you have to do as in like to prepare for the scholarship or what?
I mean, you could sort of like maybe speak a bit more generally, um, maybe based off of your experience of like waiting for the decision. Um, how, what general advice can you give?
Okay, so let me use mine as an example. So when I applied for the PhD, I got the admission first before the scholarship came in. So I had to do the code email and everything. One thing I would say is you have to be respectful and also give them time as well. You can't give them pressure, you know. You really have to respect their time, and every message that you have to send should be respectful. And when you let's say when they tell you a specific date they are going to get back to you, just wait till that date. Don't send a reminder, oh, you said I'm going to receive this email, so and so. Am I still going to get it? Like it bores them. So just give them their space and for them to just work. And hopefully you hear from them. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Nathaniel, would you have anything
Mm,
else?
just be prayerful. Just be prayerful about it. Just be praying to God. Just be joining your Alpha hour. And then, as Daniel said, you don't have to be like sending mails, a lot of mails every day and stuff, because if you send a lot of mails, they will mind you. So just be prayerful and just hope for the best. Yeah. And one another thing is you have to also get some skills in whatever you are doing, like in whatever you want to come and do here. Maybe you want to go into engineering, or if you want to go into accounting, or if you want to go into math, just have some skills in math or in engineering before you come to Canada or anywhere you want to go. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I hope that answers your question. Um, we just have one final question and then we'll just move on. So the person says, I got an admission into private schools in the USA and got partial scholarships. And I got advice from people about not being able to pay the fees. So I stopped all the processes and I've decided to focus on public universities. I want to find out if what I heard was a notion or not. Though I applied to North Dakota State University in the USA and was not given admission. I don't know if you got that
Good.
or
Into
you
private
got
school
it.
Um,
in the US.
yeah, gaining admission, it doesn't really matter if it is private or public. So the school that I'm currently in is a private school. And I know most people that did apply to private schools and they got their funding. So it's really not about you applying to public or private. One thing that I think most people do is people tend to apply to schools that they know people are over there. Like, oh, I know someone at North Dakota, so let me apply there. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get admission or you're going to get funding. So that's why I'm just saying do your own research. Okay, you have a first class, you have a second class apply, even a second class lower. Maybe North Dakota is not even accepting second class upper students. So if you apply with a lower, definitely they're not going to get funding or even admission. So know your strengths. Go on Google. There are tons of schools. So after the meeting, I can just share some websites with Godfrey so that you post them into the group. Just do your research and see that, oh, this GP, if I'm applying to this school, definitely, if not for anything, I'm going to be guaranteed an admission. Then the funding works out itself, you know. So it doesn't matter. You can apply to a private school and still get funding.
Thank you. Thank you. And Nathaniel, do you want to add anything to that?
You just don't have to apply for any school or any course anyhow, because your SOP is the most important thing. Your SOP is going to speak for you. So if you just apply any program and went online, copy an SOP and applied, there's no way you get the admission. So you just have to do your research well and make sure that your SOP is in line with the course you are applying. So that's it. Maybe that's the reason why she wasn't getting admission. So
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that has participated. Thank you to our speakers for just taking the time to answer your questions. Can we just appreciate them in the chat? Um, it's not easy to share your story like that. So we've come to the end of today's session. But before we go, I would just like to hand over to our next speaker to just run us through the final part of today's presentation.
So thank you all for joining once again. I'm just gonna quickly make us do a poll to just kind of know how well we did today, and then know how we could better serve your needs in the upcoming series as well. So quickly, I'm gonna share my screen, and then we will do a quick poll, and that would be it for today. Yeah, so if you can, please scan the QR code on the screen, and then you go ahead and answer the questions. And please note that if I go to the next slide, you wouldn't have the option to answer the previous question. And so do well to go with me as I move on to the subsequent slides. Let me all know. Okay. Can you all see my screen so that I, go ahead with moving on
Yes.
to the next slide? All right. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next slide, and then you'll see the next question on your screen as well. All right, so we move on to the next slide. Oh, okay, people are still voting. Let's give them a few seconds to do that. Okay, so I guess this will be all for this question. So we're gonna move on to the next slide. Interesting. Cost of living, career opportunities, language. Oh, okay. Okay. Mm. Moving on to the next slide now. Yeah, that's good. 100%. We like that. That's good. Moving on to the next slide. Okay, we're gonna go ahead.
Sorry, Judith, is there people that are using their phones can still take part? Maybe is there a link or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could afterwards put a link to this in the group, and if you still want to do it, that would be fine. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Let's move on. Yeah. So you can literally type anything you want in here to kind of help us with the subsequent sessions on how we could, better come up with like topics and guests and all that that would meet your current needs. I'm gonna give this some more time because it has to do with text. Really like the answers coming in. I don't know. They're very heavy. Yeah. Especially looking at how to secure funding if you have a second class offer. Okay. So this brings us to the end of the survey. Thank you all so much for taking part in this. I leave it to you, sure, for me. So I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you, Judith. And thank you for everybody that participated in the survey. That was really helpful information. If I can just respond to Dennis here. He said, please, can you help us with some petition schools and scholarship programs if there is an opening? So, if you are able to join our WhatsApp community group, so that kind of thing will be tailored there, so you have people that would help you through that process personally. Before we go, I just want to just hand over to the speakers just to say one final thing, one final thought, one takeaway that they would like you to receive as you go forth into your Sunday. So anyone can go.
Yeah, so I want to say don't put your eggs in one basket. Don't focus on a specific country. Say I want to go to US or Canada. Try every opportunity that you come by. You can apply to UK, you can apply to US, you can apply to Europe. You know, just do something that's going to maximize your chances of getting a scholarship. If you think you have a second class lower and you feel like you're not going to get a scholarship when you apply to the US schools, try Europe. Some schools even give scholarship to HND students. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have a bad GPA. And if you, as a graduate, if you have a low GPA, so I think there are some things that you can do to maximize your chance of getting the funding. That is, you can enroll in some short courses. You can join some professional bodies as well, take some leadership roles, gain teaching experiences if you want to be a TA. Also, you can get related work experience. Yeah, and attend conferences as well. So those things can really maximize your chances of getting funding. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. And Nathaniel, anything you wanted to add?
Okay. First of all, what I would say is You have to be goal-driven person. You have to be prayerful. You have to be prayerful. That is the first thing. And you have to do a lot of research. You have to read. If you want to travel outside, you have to read. And you have to be determined. And you have to know whatever you want. Because if you are not determined and if you don't know what you want, just a small information from someone who does not have any idea of how this process is about, you just turn your back on your traveling ambitions. So you just have to know much about your travel ambitions, be determined, be prayerful, and start building your GPA now. Because it really affected me when I went into CPA, because I want to become a chartered professional accountant in Canada. Most of the courses that I passed though, but I didn't get up to the expectation, because they were expecting me to get like 80, 85, and I was getting like 75 to 80. So I have to retake the course again. So if you are looking to come to abroad, start building your transcript, start getting good grades, because if they do like weighted average grade and then you get 70, you passed in Ghana, the 70 is going to be like C over here. So you should start getting good grades, start building your transcripts, start building your transcripts now. If you have interest of traveling abroad, and be determined, be prayerful, and God will lead your path. Thank you. And thank you for everyone joining.
Thank you. Thank you so much again for everyone joining. Thank you to our amazing speakers. Thank you to Judith. Thank you to Godfrey that is also in the background as well. Thank you so much for joining. We hope that this was a helpful session for you, and more sessions like this will be coming up. Before we go, we'll just say a word of prayer to close. In Jesus' name, Father, we just thank you for this session. We thank you because you've guided us. Thank you for everything that has been shared. Thank you for everybody that has joined today. Lord, I pray that your perfect will be done in everybody's lives. In Jesus' name, I pray that everything that we have shared, everything that we have learned, I pray that we will use it to good practice in Jesus' name. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your evening, everyone. You are free to leave. Thank you again, Nathaniel and Daniel.
Thank you as well.